Okay, I'm gonna try not to blind myself, but basically, I am making this robust porter. I love porters and stouts, and this is the final brew kit. If you guys were with me earlier in a video I did a while back, I had two kits that Noel got me. This one here is the final one, but it has a lot of stuff in it. So I've already, right now, I'm steeping the grains, and I'll show you that. I have the LME, which is the liquid malt extract, in some hot water in the sink. I'll show you that. And then I'll finally show you the mead, which is also doing its thing. It's still got a little bit of time, obviously, but I just want to show you. I already have all my wine glasses. But I also have a big, giant 1-gallon jug of that we used to have wine in. So I can use that also. Right now it's holding Star San, but probably we'll just let that dry out completely. It's already sanitized. And we'll use that one jug and then immediately get back into making another mead right after that, and then be able to use the bottles that I have for that. So a lot of options, but let me take you to what I have here. Hold on one sec. Okay, so this kit is going to use 2 of these liquid malt extracts here. Okay, they're using the amber. And so these are basically 3.3 pounds each of liquid malt extract. That's going to go in there once you let these grains steep. They're steeping for 20 minutes. We put this in there once we get it up to a rolling boil. And so we just kind of let it do its thing and do all of that. And so yeah, that's that. Let me show you the other here. One sec. Okay, so it's gonna steam up. Okay, take that off there. Okay, you can kind of see it, but this is what we have right here, which is the grains. We're letting them actually steep for 20 minutes. I don't want that to mess up. You want to be sure that you don't actually squeeze the grains once you pull them out, because basically if you do that, you're going to release a whole lot of tannins in there, and it's not going to it's not going to taste good. So you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that it's free of all of that. Let me see how much time I have left on the counter. Okay, Google, how much time is left on the counter?
You've got 9 minutes and 45 seconds left.
Okay, so we have 9 more minutes. We're going to let this do its thing. And we want to keep this temperature going so that it's doing what it needs to do. And yeah, so hold on. Oh, and before I get any farther, this is the instructions. I try to follow them to a T as much as possible. So right now we're in this process here. And so we're doing what we need to do. We got to do the 20 minutes. Move it without squeezing, obviously. Then we're going to bring it to a boil. So what we're going to do is add the liquid malt extract, which are the 2 cans that I showed you there. And then what we're going to do is immediately jump to right here. Now right here will tell you start with 2.5 gallons. They recommend that. If you can do more, better. I just do 2 gallons because you're going to have to cool all of that down before you can actually pitch in your yeast. So then right here it kind of tells you. So what you're going to do is once you've actually put in all the liquid malt extract, which is right, where was that? Oh, here. Then what you're going to do is make sure that that is good and good to go. You're then going to be on a 55-minute boil. And so it's going to be a long deal. So first you're going to add your Columbus hops, which I have. Boil it for 55 minutes, and then you're going to add the 1-ounce pack of Willamette hops. Boil for the final minutes, and then terminate the boil. And there's a whole time chart over here, total hour for you to actually do everything. Okay, so let's take a look at what we actually have here. Our Willamette hops are going to be at the very end, and it kind of tells you. It's mainly going to help with the aroma here. Look at that. So It's going to be floral, incense, and elderberry, which is what you're going to get out of this. This is the last 5 minutes. Okay. This is our yeast that we're going to actually pitch. It's Nottingham. Of course, this is going to be at the very, very last, once everything is cooled down. This right here are the Columbus hops. These guys go in right after I get done putting in the LME. So this actually goes in there, and it's going to, it doesn't tell you like the other one does. It just kind of tells you the acid percentage, but it doesn't go into what you're going to get in terms of flavor profile. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. Let me go and take you briefly over to the mead. Okay, just checking on this guy, making sure it's okay. Seems like it is. Let me turn it down a little bit. Okay, yeah, all right. Okay, so here's the mead. I don't know if you can see it. There's the mead. Look at all of that gas. Can you see it? Yeah. Look at all of that. This is the little bubbler. It's still definitely fermenting. Right now it's the long stretch. So right now with this, I don't have to do anything else. I just got to sit and wait. We've already added the yeast nutrient to it, which was a few days ago. So on the 5th day, you add the yeast nutrients. You don't shake it or do anything, but you just basically add it to that, and now it's just going through and fermenting, and it's doing so like crazy. And again, you can see it up there, pushing that through the airlock, the gas. So yeah, it's still doing its thing, but it's still very, very early in its journey. And hopping back around, this is my bucket, fermenter bucket for the beer. This is where I pour everything into once we're done. So this is not going to be used for another hour, but I prep everything. And so what you see in there is Star Sand. It's solution to sanitize everything. Even the spoon is in there. That spoon I'm going to use here in a second to actually mix around the ingredients. So we still got to do that. You may ask, why do I have this in water? This is actually pretty hot water. And the reason why you want this hot is because this stuff is very concentrated, and it is trying to get it out of there cold. It's just not going to work for you. It's going to be very, very loose and pliable and all that. Or try to get it out of there when it's hot. It's not going to work for you. Or when it's cold, I'm sorry. It's not going to work very well. It's basically like molasses. Once you put some heat to it, then pretty much everything starts to move a lot better. I'm going to go ahead and stop it. What I'm doing now is adding hot water. Boiling hot water is your friend. I have a electric kettle, and that thing works perfectly well. It heats up water very quickly, and I can keep this going as long as I need to. So that right there will help keep the water going. Did I just pour it all out, or is it still leaking? I hope it's not leaking out. I don't want to touch that now. So then I add regular, just hot water from the sink to try to keep that going. Let me put it over here until it gets hot. While it's doing that, I'm going to fill this up. But yeah, so you want to make sure that the water is hot, so that when it's time to add this, you're not waiting forever for it to get out. What I'm now doing is heating up more hot water so that I can pour it inside of these cans to get all of the liquid malt extract I can out of it. You have to be careful when you do that because the cans become excessively hot. Yeah, I drained all my water out. That sucks. So yeah, let me actually stop this real quick. Okay, I'm back. So I'm just going to fill this up again and let it get hot. This is also, this side of the sink is going to be used to cool down my wort as well. So it's going to be in an ice bath. There's a lot of hot and cold that you got to do, but that's going to cool down the wort so that we can actually pitch the yeast later. I also have some water in the refrigerator that will help cool it down as well. I'm going to pour that in there at the end to actually add volume. And that water is sealed and everything else, so I trust it. Once the yeast starts, the chance of infection is pretty slim. But anyhow, I am going to go ahead and end this. That water is still fairly hot. It's not going to be boiling hot, obviously. At the studio, the water there is boiling hot, literally, coming out. But this should be hot enough to get this, keep this still very loose and pliable. So anyhow, I'm going to finish off here. I'm going to put all the stuff I need in the sanitized solution over here, which I have to the side. I have another little thing going that is to keep things kind of sanitized. So I have this in there just so that when I use it, I know it's sanitized. This solution here is really, really good. It just cleans everything. So Star saying I would recommend it. Okay, Google stop. So now my stuff is done. Let's take a look at this. All right, so now what we got to do is try to pull this out. The problem is this has leaked all the way up to the top. This is hot, very hot. So now what we're doing is letting this just drain in there. Okay, this is just going to drain in there, and as you can see, it's dripping. We don't want this. We don't want to squeeze the bag. If you squeeze that bag, it's not going to be good. Now I'm turning the temperature up so that we can have a good rolling boil. And that rolling boil is going to be what we need. Still a lot of juice coming out of that. So what I'm going to do is try to tie this up. Tie this up there so that it can do its thing. So hold on for 1 second while I do that. Okay, so now the trick is to try to get this. I was going to have it hang to the side. There was 2 bags of grain that went into this thing, so it's humongous. You're not going to be able to stop. You're not going to be able to hang this on the side. Also, that's another downside to adding too much water, which is what they recommend, is that it's hard to hang the bag onto the side to drain everything out when it's completely full of water. So I'm going to try to get this over there and out of the way. All right, so this is where she's at. This right here is wart. So now it's officially wart. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, add these dudes in there, and we're pretty much down the home stretch. Alright, so anyhow, I'm going to get to this so I can kind of get it done. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is kind of how I brew. Later on, I'm going to start working with all grains, which is a lot better. That's kind of what your brew pubs do, most of them, is use all grains. I'm going to start doing that, which the bag you see is grains. It's basically a system where that's all you're using, and you're recycling the water and all that. I got to get the right equipment to do that so I can be confident, but anyhow, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure that you join our Discord, which is going to be down in the description box below. I may even add a whole beer column there. Am I in the picture? Am I seeing? Okay. I may add a whole beer section there so I can actually talk about it. But anyhow, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, I will see you. Take care.